Welcome back to Beers, Bourbon, and Games. I'm your co-host, Conqueror Corey. With me, I have Mike.
You hear that?
Hear what?
Opportunity.
To talk about Steam Deck docks. Those that don't know, guess what, Mike?
What?
I really like the Steam Deck.
I had no idea.
You know what else I like?
What?
I like Steam Deck docks.
Yes.
Boy, that name is so bad.
It is. They need to come up with something better.
So today we are going to talk a little bit about all the different dock options that you have.
All those dock options. Look at the donks.
Bye. I will prove to Mrs. Conqueror that I understand the docks market. I love you, Flash Kids. Keep being you. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Steam Deck docks. Gosh almighty, I gotta figure out a different way to talk about that.
Specifically, Jasux.
Jasux.
Sorry.
Jasux.
Jasux.
Probably saying it wrong. In Jasux, if you're watching this video, we apologize. And we hope you like this review of your product. So, give a little bit of history. Steam Deck has been out for a while.
Yep.
It came out almost a year ago.
It's been long.
Yeah, it released in December, I think. But the Steam Deck docking station Valve was going to release got delayed.
Yep.
Because of productivity. They decided to focus on the Steam Deck, which was the right move, by the way.
Yes. I'm not faulting them for that at all.
But there was a certain company named Jasux that decided to strike while the iron was hot. And it worked. We started seeing all these different companies start making docks, but I believe Jasux was the first one to get out the market, at least that was reputable, to say, hey, this is a dock we made specifically for the Steam Deck. Now, there are other docks that you can get. You can use regular USB-C docks. The main thing, though, is to make sure it has power delivery. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we have a little bit of an unboxing we're going to do first. Mike has one of the Jasux docks here.
The model I have is the HB0603 is the model that I have. It's kind of the mid-range model. It's the one that was in stock at the time I went to buy it, to be honest with you. It's very simple packaging. Very, very simple packaging. You got your manuals and stuff, user guides. And just the plastic comes out. And you have your dock.
Yeah, simple, no thrills. So let's look. It's got a kind of aluminum casing on it.
Yeah, it feels quality. That's one thing I'm always afraid with, like some of these products, and a lot of the ones we looked at when we were talking about docks did not look like quality docks. Dock.
Let's look at the IO though. Let's see what we got.
So this one has, of course, the USB-C port. This is to charge it as you're playing it, and power stuff.
Yeah,
HDMI, which is capable of 4K at 60 frames per second, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I got the website open right now. I will look that up while you're talking about the other IO.
3 USB 3.0s, which is awesome. So you can plug in your wireless controller, and if you have a keyboard and mouse, you can plug those in. And big thing, it has a gigabit Ethernet port on it, which is awesome. It also has the cable on the back here, which when we look at his in a sec, this is a design choice they made. So as you're plugging it in from behind, it helps hide it a little bit.
Yeah, so a very, very, very basic approach to that. I also have one of their models as well. I have the lower end model because I actually bought mine when the version Mike had was being developed. It was getting ready to be released.
Yep.
They were really very close to one another, but the pricing is a big difference here. So I got the HB602. Now there are some major differences in this one. This one is $10 cheaper than the model Mike has. But you're gonna see that $10 is worth the extra $10, trust me. So you have the USB-C power delivery. This delivers up to 100 watts, I think, but it's only going to deliver 40 for the Steam Deck.
It's the same with this one.
That's the key thing when you're buying these docks. Make sure that it can deliver at least 40 watts. It needs that to feed that. If you go any lower than that, you're going to run the risk of draining while you're charging under heavy loads. And for those that don't know that, don't know what that means, that is very bad for your battery. That's a quick way to burn out your battery, and you'll be replacing it before you know it.
Yeah.
That means you'll have to visit ifixit.com or whatever they call it. Don't search that. We're not sponsored by them. We do have an HDMI port here. It does deliver 4K at 60 hertz. But there are only 2 USB 2.0.
Instead of the 3.0 like on this one. Ah.
So the $10 difference between these two models, just get the one with USB 3s. You'll thank me later.
Now, one thing I am noticing on that one that I like better about this one, like better than this one, is look at your padding inside. His padding runs the length of it, and the padding on this one is only 2 strips.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess I don't know how much money that actually saves them, but I would prefer to have the padding full way, especially if I don't have a case on these.
And another big point about this dock is this dock only has a 10100.
Right, while this one has the gigabit.
So for all you network people watching, when I said 10100, you're like,
right.
And just to kind of summarize it for those that are not network inclined, that's okay, you don't have to be. 10100 is a lot slower than the gigabit.
It's outdated now at this point.
And it really only matters not so much for your internet, because your internet's probably going to likely be slower than the connection. It's all about that internal networking speed when you're doing game streaming from your dedicated gaming rig to your Steam Deck through the dock. A little funny side fact: the way my house is wired, my wireless is actually faster than.
Yeah, and it happens a lot with 10100. So like this is a fast Ethernet is the name for it. 10100 gigabit, 10100 1000. So 10/100/1000 is what it reads. So,
but let's talk a little bit about the price.
Yep.
So mine, the model I have here, the 602, is $40. But if you order from Jasux, you get, I think they give you like 10% off or something, 5% off.
Depends on how much you spend. It's between 5 and 10, yeah.
So that's not too bad. That's a pretty good entry level model. If you just need it to just slap down in front of your television, you don't need no 3.0. You don't mind waiting a little longer for your flash drive transfers to happen. This is a good model to get.
Yep.
Now the 702 or 703 is only $10 more. Personally, I would probably get that one just for the USB 3 and the gigabit connection.
Yeah.
It just wasn't available when I ordered it.
No, like he was the first one out of us to buy them. He's like, I'm going to test all this out so we have it. And then like, I think a week later this dropped and I was like, hey, guess what I ordered?
So the 603 is it's $50.
Yeah.
Which is still not bad. I know you're probably thinking, ooh, that's kind of expensive. But when you look for a good quality dock that has power delivery, that's going to be around the same cost you pay for all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because docks can get expensive if you don't realize that. The good ones they run upwards to $80, $90.
Well, I'm going to put it to you this way: a Dell dock for a laptop, a Dell branded dock station for a laptop I just priced was like $250. So, and you charge with USB 3, USB-C also. It was passed through into it. So that, if that tells you anything at all.
But there are some more options as well. There is another model that's a step up that is $60. That is the HB702, which includes DisplayPort.
Right, and one additional USB 3.0. Is that right? So that's 4.
Yeah.
Instead of the 3.
No, it's still at the 3.
That's 3. Oh, okay.
The only difference is it includes the DisplayPort.
Gotcha.
And that's just if you want to use DisplayPort, and I think that's mainly if you want to use FreeSync.
Yeah.
Because there are AMD chips in here, so it does support FreeSync. But there's more. There is a boutique option if you want it. I'm going to call it boutique because boutique is the word of the day for me. There is a M.2 dock. I say this is going to be a little bit exciting, and it's a little pricey, but they've actually developed a dock that has a M.2 slot in it. You can expand your storage when you dock down and store all your games.
Nice.
I'm a little bit about doing that sometimes, but I guess the worst things happens when you're undocking. Prepare for the game that's on your dock. It's going to say, "Hey, we don't. No,
it's not actually in there anymore.
We're not there anymore." I'm really curious how this Steam OS handles it. I know how Windows handles it, but I want to know how Steam handles it. Steam OS, which is Linux, by the way. The M.2 docking station is actually pretty pricey. It's $130. Now it is on sale right now for $109. It's not too bad, especially when you get the extra 10% off the order for beer because it's over $60.
Yeah.
You get that money off. So you can definitely take a look at Jasix's website. I have ordered from Jasux directly. I know a lot of people are really concerned about ordering from new names and stuff, but they seem to be making a name for themselves. They make a lot of charging cables and things like that, and I actually don't regret my purchase. I actually ordered directly from them. Mike, he ordered from Amazon.
Yeah, they are on Amazon.
So if you feel more comfortable ordering through Amazon, Amazon delivers it. You're buying it through them on Amazon. So if you're stateside, it gives you a little bit more comfort. Because sometimes when you buy from shipping from China, it gets a little nerve wracking sometimes, especially when the tracking just disappears.
Yep,
I had that happen to me. But it's like we don't know if your package exists. Then all of a sudden one day it's here. But yeah, and there are different options though for the 604, the HB 604, which is the M.2 docking station. Everybody calls it M.2. You can buy it with a 65 watt charger and a terabyte M.2. I don't know what brand the terabyte M.2 is, but it is $190 on sale right now. It's $200 normally.
That's actually not bad.
It's not too bad when you right now storage prices are pretty cheap. So you might actually be cheaper just buying the dock and getting the
That's
M.2.
true.
Especially if you want to get a SATA M.2. That's a lot cheaper than getting the NVMe. But yeah, it is that is the more expensive option. Now you're probably saying to me, why are you talking about the Valve Steam Deck? Well, I'm not thrilled with it.
I have to agree. And you're saying to yourself, why not? Why would I buy that when I could just buy the official Steam Deck, Steam Dock?
That's because it is $90.
Yeah.
And here is what you get with it. And Valve, I love you. I do. But it's just right now, unless there's something that I'm missing about your dock, which I'm sure it has some firmware, has some compatibilities that this detects it and does things. But from my understanding, what I've done, it's nothing. The problems on this dock are the same as the problem on the Steam Deck dock, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Valve's offering has a DisplayPort 1.4, a HDMI 2.0 for that price. I really like it. 2.1.
Yeah.
For the newer televisions, because I have an LG television that has FreeSync.
Right.
I'd really love to take advantage of that. You got the USB-C power in. That's becoming the standard for power delivery nowadays, and I love it. It's got a gigabit Ethernet, so they got that right. And it's got 3 USB 3.1. So basically what Mike's has.
Yeah.
But Mike's cheaper. Minus the DisplayPort. Which, to be honest though, I don't know of any TVs that have DisplayPort, if any at all. I don't think any do.
No, you'd be hooking up to a monitor.
So you need to hook it. So if you're the main thing for this, you're probably gonna hook it up to your television. So you're gonna be using the HDMI anyways.
That's my main thing with these docks is this makes me think of the Switch. Like, what do I use the Switch dock for? To play on my TV. That's what I do with this. Set up on my TV, buy a new cable to plug it in, leave it there. Come in, playing, sit it down, hook it up, go on my couch, use my wireless keyboard and mouse or my wireless controller. Done. Just like the Steam. Just like the Switch. Blah.
And I view it. I've actually used mine a little bit differently. I've recorded some videos of our Emu Deck video, so if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check out Emu Deck. I actually recorded it while it was connected to this dock, and it makes it a nice desktop solution. If you really have no other, if your parents say, hey, we only got $400, we only got like $440 to give you, get your gaming PC with that, I would, especially if you're a college student and you value on-the-go gaming, I would say get a Steam Deck with a dock.
Yep.
And try to gather up some money for a SD card. But it makes the dock, the Steam Deck, a viable desktop solution. This thing is a powerful little beast.
It is.
But it's not perfect.
No.
One problem I ran into is when I hook up my dock and I have my monitors connected, it reverts this display as my primary. My monitors get slapped on as secondaries, which is a little bit disorienting because I have to go in with my mouse, squint at the little screen, and flop the monitors. Hopefully, I think Valve's does the same thing. I would really like it. Now, this make it a lot more appealing if there's automatically text that switches the monitor to the
Yeah.
primary and this to the secondary. Actually, I would prefer if they just shut this display off altogether and just go boom, like the Switch does.
Yeah.
I think it's what it should do. I don't think this monitor should stay on. I think it should automatically switch. Valve, if you're listening, if you do that, I would probably drop the extra money for your dock.
Right.
On a Steam sale.
Did we see the actual price of the Steam?
We did. So it's $89.
Yeah.
It takes 1 to 2 weeks to deliver. It is a nice looking dock. I mean, it's no thrills, real basic, kind of like these. But it's just right now the price point, I can't justify it.
No, I mean, like this is what, 50?
Yeah, that's 50. This is 40.
Yeah, and even cheaper if you get it the coupon. So
yeah, so you're really hard pressed. I think a lot of it is that Valve, they really sold these at a painful price point.
Yeah.
Gabe Newell himself said, "Look, this is a very painful price point we're selling these at." I think they're actually eating somewhat of a loss on these.
Yeah. Most consoles do lose money.
But I think they're going to try to make up for it on the accessories.
Yeah, I mean they're making up for it in the game sales alone from it.
Yeah, true. But like I said, we like these Jasux docks. And in full disclosure, we're not sponsored. They didn't send these docks to us. We bought them. Jasux actually, and this is a little bit embarrassing on Valve's end, Jasux actually advertised themselves as the first Steam Deck dock because of the delay. They were the first one out the market, at least the first notable brand. And when you Google search a Steam Deck docks, Jasux website pops up at the top.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
So, good job, Jasux. You really caught that at a good time.
So, good news on one thing. I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but good news. If you have the kill switch, it does fit in here perfectly, and I'm sure other cases would too. Still. And it still connects in all the way. So
that's good. Now, one thing, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing that I kind of don't like about mine, and I think your kill switch case addressed it. You'll notice it's not by much there, but it does cover up that vent a little bit. That makes me nervous. I don't like that. I think that's the intake vent.
Yeah.
Sure. So I don't like that being obscured. So sometimes I'll like shift it over like this sometimes. It really, honestly and truly, it doesn't impact it a whole lot. It's a pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have my intakes and outtakes clear.
Yep.
But yours though, because it don't go all the way down because the case holder, it clears that vent, which is nice. Good job, D-Brand. I don't know if y'all were using that and tested that. Just happened to work out that way. But overall, what's your thoughts about these docks?
I think they're great. I think they're, if you get them for what you're going to use them for, if you get them for what I'm using them for, I think it's great. I think being able to hook it up to your TV and just start playing stuff when you want to on the go, great. Honestly, having it for a little second computer is good. Let's say you work from home and you have another monitor set up beside you. I mean, granted, you could just honestly pick this up and start playing with it anyway.
Not that any of us working from home would ever do personal things on company time.
No.
We value our employers, and we want to give every bit of our souls and our beings back to them.
I think, though, for dock, hooking up to the TV is great. The one other thing about the Steam one that I like to touch on is that I guess technically, if you wanted to hook up multiple monitors to it, you could. You couldn't with this one, but I'm not really using the dock for that. I'm using it to hook it up to my TV. So
it says update is forthcoming, but I don't know if that
it may not be out yet. Yeah, it may not even be there.
Like I said, we didn't get it just because I just didn't feel. Mainly at the time we got these because the Steam Deck dock was not out.
Yep.
If I have the extra money, I may try to get it just to kind of see.
Just so we can try it out. Overall, I think the docks are great. I think they're a really good addition to an already amazing handheld console, and it basically makes the Steam Deck even more of a Switch killer because it does what the Switch can do but better. And this $50 part makes it connect up to your TV at 4K at 60 hertz.
But all in all, good job, Jasux. I like these docks. I think they're really good. I can recommend buying them.
Yep.
Especially if you just want a no thrills, a basic dock, do basic needs. I think they have one to cover each range that you need that fit your budgets. $40 for a dock is for a reliable dock. I mean, let me just say that a reliable dock that can do power delivery is a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Since the docks, especially because Steam Deck's already a good investment, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But let us know your thoughts. Do you have one of these docks? Do you have the official Steam Deck dock? Does it blow these out of the water? Does it not? We'd love to hear your thoughts about it. And of course, if you want to see other unboxings and reviews, be sure to check out our channel where we do other discussions and talk a little bit about things such as the D-Brain case.
Yep.
It's really nice. But as always, I'm your co-host, Conqueror Corey.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see ya.